Hi all. Tomorrow it's an important day. We're going to level 3 and lots of you hospitality businesses, cafe, restaurants, takeaways, you're going to open tomorrow, which is very exciting. And I'm sure all of you are busy working through and make sure you're ready for tomorrow morning. Some of you are starting as early as 5 a.m. tomorrow to start trading, and it would be very exciting. I'm very excited for you guys. But I thought I'd just go through some of the advice we've been giving to our clients to make sure that you're going to have very good days to come. So the first one is for those of you that they've never done a takeaway before. The costing is quite different from the normal. So the first thing that you do, you have to do your menu costing again. And not only menu, the total cost, because you would have packaging and delivery that it wasn't there before. And also you have extra costs for your contactless delivery, and also all the cleaning and everything that you have to do. So make sure that you do the whole costing, and also some of the ingredients has changed price. So if you don't do the costing, you might making loss. And that's the worst thing that can happen to open and find out that if you were keeping the shop closed, it would have made you less loss rather than opening. So you want to make sure that you're going to make some profit and cover your costs at least. So that's important. So make sure that you do your costing. The second thing is just having, because you have received the wages subsidy, try to optimize that value for your costs as well. There is the concept of having a two bubbles. So set up two bubbles or two shifts, or so whatever you want to call it, but two different teams separately. So a chef and I don't know, sous chef and some supporting staff. Obviously, you wouldn't have the waiting staff because you don't have any tables or anything, so you can utilize some of those staff and have them as a supporting staff to make sure that the whole operation going to work well. So having two bubbles, it helps you in two ways. One way is for that wages subsidy, you can optimize the hours they're working, so you don't have to pay them too much over the subsidy amount that you receive. Okay. So the subsidy amount that you receive plus a little bit is okay, but you don't want to go back to the 100% for everybody if the trading is not going to be good. You might trade for a couple of weeks and see, okay, I can use everybody full time. That's fine. And that's, we can go 100% at that time. But I think having two bubbles, it helps with that. But more than that is just having that safety and contingency plan in place, because if one of the bubbles, one of the staff in one of the shifter bubbles have a cough or sneeze or anything, you have to send the whole team for quarantine till you get the result and make sure that there's nothing wrong. So the other thing can step in and do the operation. So if you have everybody mixed up together and something happens, then you have to send the whole team and you have to close down again. So it's very important to have that two-team structure in place. The other thing you have to do your cash flow and make sure all your costing obviously is there, all your sales to monitor the items. So it's not a normal day for you. It's wartime. You have to be captain of the ship and monitor everything every day to see what sells more, what hours they've been working, what are the costs, and make sure you do the cash flow forecasting. The last thing that you want to do is just ordering more material from your suppliers, and at the end of the day won't be able to pay them back because your reputation is going to be ruined, and when things go back to normal, you can't get account with any of the suppliers. So make sure that you do your cash flow forecasting, make sure you have enough cash, and make sure please to monitor everything on a daily basis, on hourly basis, to see what sells and what not, because you have to be very agile. Everybody going to do the same thing. Everybody going to do takeaway and delivery, and you don't want to basically lose money and have problems. So cash flow forecasting is very important. If you need help with your business continuity plan or cash flow forecasting, we have a subsidy through regional partners which pays for our services. So send me a message and I will put you in touch, and you see if you qualify and you can use that service for free through us. So that's that. The other thing is your brand. So if your brand was a social brand that you had everybody in, and you were providing certain type of food and all that, you have to make sure that is not going to be affected by you suddenly change the whole menu, change everything there, because you want to carry on the same brand. That's the most important thing that you have, because things back good to normal, that business would have a value, and you don't want to taint that that brand. So make sure your branding is not going to be affected by what you're going to do through this time, through desperate times. The other thing is having all the procedure for hygiene and everything to make sure that you, your staff, and your clients are safe, because one wrong step and it's going to put you in front of the news. Everybody is very cautious watching, and you don't want to end up in the news or in a social media by your clients because you've done something wrong. Obviously, the safety of everybody is very important, and we don't want to be the cause of everybody being closed and going to level 4 as well. The last but not least is just important of the database. So if you are not having a database of your clients, this event showed us how important it is to have that database. Try to collect them properly. A mobile number and an email address are the two best things you can do to make sure that you can promote your specials, your news, your everything, your communication with your client, because they're not going to be in your shop all the time, so you can't put the card on the table and say, okay, this is a special of the day and we have a happy hour, whatever you have. So make sure that is there, and you have a system in place that you can communicate with them. So mobile number and email address, and try to collect as many as you can. Obviously ask for the permission that you can communicate with them for the marketing purposes. And yeah, if you need any help, or have any question, feel free to send us a message. You can email us support@wiseadvice.co.nz, or you can go to hospitalityadvice.co.nz or wiseadvice.co.nz, and you can see all our services. And if you want access to that subsidy, again, message us at support@wiseadvice.co.nz or on the platform, and I will be able to send you the information and see if you qualify for having that service for free. All the best, and I'm looking forward to come to those of you who are open tomorrow and try some of your food and support your businesses, and wish you all the best. Cheers.